Chuck Daughtry here, owner of coppercoins.com and author of Looking Through Lincoln Cents. I want to share with you one of the most unusual fake coins I've ever seen. I've posted a lot of altered and counterfeit coins on my Facebook page at CopperCoins, but this one is so unusual I wanted to create this, my first video, to showcase this oddity. We're going to take a look at what appears to be a 1992 Lincoln cent, but this isn't any ordinary 1992 Lincoln cent. This, if real, would be a very rare transitional reverse coin worth big bucks. See, in 1993, they changed the reverse of the Lincoln cent, with the not-so-intended result being that the A and the M of America were pushed together and actually come very close to touching. We call this the close AM. In the previous design, the A and the M have some distance between them, thus these are known as the wide AM coins. The rarity comes when a 1992 coin has the unintended close AM design of 1993. In this particular case, the creator of these coins knew the close AM 1992 cents were very rare, so they took advantage of some skill to create these pieces. It's not known exactly how many of these pieces exist today, but more than 24 of them were located, many of which were destroyed or placed in safe hands. What we don't know, though, is how many others might have been made and not caught. The unusual method of manufacture here involves some form of removing all the zinc from a 1992 cent, leaving all the copper intact, then gluing the copper obverse shell to a genuine 1993 cent and hiding the seams. One of the things to understand about more modern Lincoln cents is that from 1982 mid-year on, Lincoln cents are made of a pure zinc core and they're bathed in molten copper. So the outer shell of the coin is pure copper and the inner core of the coin is pure zinc. If you can find a way to remove the zinc and leave the copper, you end up with a very, very thin shell of copper that was actually struck as a coin at one time. In this first photo, you can clearly see a seam running along the outer ridge line of the rim all the way around the obverse of the coin. This particular image is just above Liberty. It shows indentations and grooves where the maker pushed on the obverse shell to force it to adhere to the host coin. The second image shows where the seam continues around the top of the coin and another dent caused by something pushing on the shell to make it adhere to the host. Here we also see a clear substance on the surface of the coin that has in part discolored that area. Next we see two images of the lower obverse that show a large raised area. This is where the shell did not adhere well to the host coin. In the image on the right, you can see where I created a dent in the shell, barely pressing into it with a toothpick. The next image shows a large bubulous area around the chin where the shell didn't stick well to the host coin. This image shows the lower rim area with the seam of the obverse marked as number 1. The interesting part about this image is that this is the area where I realized I was dealing with an actual struck 1992 cent that had been hollowed out. See where the number 2 points? That's a part of the field of the original coin, which is now part of the rim of the composite coin. See the flow lines up on the ridge of the rim? That can't happen with a real struck coin. Number 3 points to where the rim drops off into the field of the coin. Remember, there's no seam here, just the normal drop-off of a coin rim. This image shows where something caused the maker to scratch at the surface of the reverse, but only in a very small area. Next we see where there could be a secondary seam, possibly a repair, around the reverse of the coin. Next image, we have a fin at the edge of the reverse that appears to be a normal fin caused by a slightly misaligned reverse die. This is supported by the fact that the rim is thicker in that area than on the opposite side of the coin, and this is a relatively normal occurrence when striking coins. Next is one of the many small areas of swirl marks that I saw staining the reverse. It appears to be an attempt at removing stray glue from the coin, but I'm not really sure exactly what it is because it doesn't appear that there's any actual material there. It's just a change in color. Jason Went from Kansas sent the coin in that I studied. He also sent in these images of a similar piece that he disassembled so he could study it. He said that when he found the seam on the coin, he began to pick at it until it lifted. And what he found was a foil thin obverse with a black material backing it, stuck down with some sort of glue onto a real 1993 cent. Now, my suspicion is that the black material is probably whatever chemical reaction ate the zinc away from the copper. So what we're looking at is probably the leftover of zinc. Note how the weight of the obverse shell is insignificant enough so as not to add to the overall weight of the coin to raise suspicion. So the finished coin would have weighed approximately 2.54 grams. That's only 0.04 grams off the weight of a normal coin. And Jason soaked the coin in acetone to remove the glue, and out came a relatively normal looking and genuine 1993 cent. Think maybe you're good enough not to be fooled by these? Think again. Third-party services graded an undisclosed number of these fakes, all of which have since been removed from the holders. Moral of the story, be very careful when buying high-dollar coins and study all you can before jumping into the deal. And keep tuned to Copper Coins, where I'll do my best to give you all the information I can to help you make wise decisions.